So yeah, welcome back.
Back at it again, man.
Heck yeah, man. Talk about that GOAT debate, the GOAT point guard debate.
Yeah, you definitely got Magic and Steph, right?
Stefferton and Magic Johnson, man. Can you believe it? Yeah, that's what been. That's been a big talk. I'll start off with Gilbert Arenas asking Steph, like, so are you are you the GOAT point guard, or and he said, yeah. So that's that. Miss. It's caused quite a stir. So, what is your take on who do you think is the GOAT point guard, man? Top three.
Me personally, I had to say top three,
Yep.
and is that based on like that's what all the GOAT conversations always come back to. Like, is it gonna be a stat base? Is it accolades based? Like what
Yeah.
is gonna be determining factors?
Combination of championships, stats, hard to guard, stress on the defense. Um, great passer, inside and out shooter. Even middies and free throws and just getting the smart shots, less turnovers. Just a combination of everything, man. Like team success, of course, leading the way. Um, ability to play with a superstar, and they both have shown that.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's my determining factor. There's some great point guards out there, but there's a top three that can't be messed with. You know, somebody got to be the GOAT though.
So what's your top three? If you can put it that way.
Isaiah Thomas number 3, Magic Johnson number 2, and Steph number 1.
So I hear you with that. I hear Zeke. I hear that, but I feel like the third that could easily be swapped out with like a Steve Nash, a Tony Parker. You know what I'm saying? Because that Spurs run, that's not the same without Tony Parker. Like, of course, you got Tim Duncan, you got David Robinson, but it's just Tony Parker. Like that definitely made like a big change in that. So it's just
Tony Parker's for sure in the top eight.
But then you got
top eight
Steve
point
though.
guard.
You got Steve. You got two MVPs. That's
Yeah, Steve Nash is up there, man. Steve Nash did some great things with Dallas and Phoenix, man. I remember that super team. He was on with the Lakers. It was him, Kobe, Artest, Dwight Howard, Park Gasol. These other super team with Dallas Mavericks, like Dirk Nowitzki, Michael Finley. Then they added Anton Jameson, former Warrior, and Antoine Walker. So I don't know if you call that a super team, but it's like another type of super team. It's like super stacked with like a bunch of great number twos. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And then Dirks and Nash are number ones, but Michael Finley's a great number 2. Anton Jameson and Antoine Walker great number 2s. So
All team builders, pretty much.
yeah.
But just to get back to the GOAT debate, I would definitely say that predominantly it's going to definitely come back to Magic and Steph at this particular point in time. But for me personally, I just look at it like during Magic's run, it was either Magic or you had Bird, and that was just the greatest player at the time. Not even like regardless of position, and it's just like with Magic, he could play damn near 1 through 5, and he showed that. You know what I'm saying? So he's got that dexterity and diversity to play 1 through 5 and dominate damn near if need be.
Yeah.
Because it's just like realistically, he was more like a point forward due to the size and the height and everything. So it wasn't even like you could really sit back and be like, oh yeah, he was just a point guard. That's all he did was facilitate. But it was just like, nah, like he can get you rebounds, he can get you a block. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I look at like what's the determining factor that's gonna separate the two. It's gotta be defense.
Yeah, Steph's a pretty good team defender, man. Like he got in steals and knockdowns. I seen him pickpocket Kevin Durant, seen him pickpocket LeBron James going down. About to try to dunk, but got stripped. And seen him pickpocket Harden. And even on that Kyrie shot in 2016 Game 7, Steph was all over him, man. It just Kyrie made a better play. So Steph, his defense is not gonna get the credit, but I think it's good enough team wise.
If you really look at it, all the number one point guards or the number one scorer of most teams during those runs with Steph, it was always Klay Thompson taking them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's always Klay that has to jump in and okay, I got him on, like I'm gonna lock him down because I got the length, like the size, on Steph to be guarding him. And because Steph definitely plays a different role. So I'm not trying to say that Steph can't defend. I'm just saying when it's come down to the stretch, you don't see Magic Johnson like swapping out and hey, I can't take this guy tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's just That's just from highlights. I didn't watch any games, but just watching games back and watching highlights, I didn't see Magic Johnson step out and be like, "Hey, I'm I'm not taking such and such tonight. I don't want Bird. I don't want woo woo woo." You know what I'm
I
saying?
never saw a highlight of him guarding Bird ever.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if need be, if he need to make that switch, he was
Yeah.
able to do it. But it's just with Steph, we've always seen, because we definitely watch all the Steph games and everything. But it's just you always see that Steph is gonna take the second person, compared to Clay step in and okay, tonight I got Kobe, it's gonna be Clay. You know what I'm saying?
Clay will guard anybody, man.
Exactly.
Any guard, any point, any two, like in his heyday, locking people up. Chris Paul, Dame Lillard, James Harden, all these guys, man. Guarded Kyrie. He guarded all the elite guys, man. Drew Holiday, he guarded all these dudes. So, shout out to Clay. Being a two-way player.
Shoot, even with what you were saying as far as that shot from Kyrie, do you see what Iman Shumpert had to say? As far as I believe it was on I think it was on Gil's show, but he was pretty much saying that he didn't really want to guard him during those finals and everything. So LeBron was just like, yeah, he gonna have to guard dude. You know what I'm saying? You gotta guard Kyrie tonight. So it just
Oh, like who got guard Kyrie tonight? Steph?
Yeah, Steph. Because he didn't want to. I didn't know if he was saying he didn't know if it was like a foul reasoning or what it was, but he was like, we're gonna make him guard him tonight. He trying to triple switch and get him off. He like, nah, you're gonna have to see that, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So I personally though feel like Steph has solidified himself as like I am that guy.
Yeah.
And that's just off the stat base because he's like multiple time scoring champ. Am I right with that?
Yeah, multiple.
He did at least twice.
Yep. Multiple MVPs.
Multiple unanimous MVP at that.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, all right, now he's a score 3-point champion. Period.
All time.
There's no one passing that no time soon.
Nah, man, Steph's efficient, man. He do that at a high clip. He's probably shooting 41, 42% for his career. Like Steph's that dude, man. He can play without the ball. He's just as dangerous without the ball as he is with the ball. Like
yeah, that's what a lot of people say that they have the biggest issue with is when he doesn't have the ball because it's the he makes it like damn near a circus out there with all the
he got stamina, man. He got them Jerry Rice legs. You know what I'm saying? Where Jerry Rice used to run uphill, that's what Steph does on the basketball court. Like real talk, just super stamina. That's why a lot of these guys a lot of these point guards they don't guard Steph though. Chris Paul never really guarded Steph every game like Russell Westbrook. No. Damian Lillard, they're not guarding Steph like how do you make it seem like they're not. They guard other guys. So, like I said, I think a lot of players, point guards always thought they could just hide on Clay, catch and shoot guy. So, like I said, I always say, Steph, you didn't guard these guys. Well, they're not really guarding him either. I recall DeAndre Jordan guarding Steph instead of Chris Paul. They even put like Tristan Thompson on Steph. So at the end of the day, he's had big guys guarding him. Like that's how scared they are. Putting centers on him. They didn't put centers on Jordan or Magic or Bird, and like they should have though. They definitely should have. Like, but I think the centers back then weren't that athletic. They weren't that quick.
Do you think that's like a reason behind it, like the pick and roll scheme that they ran? Because they run a serious pick and roll with Steph. It's always switch off the pick and roll with Dre or Kevon or you know what I'm saying. So it's just you always come out the pick and roll. That's why a lot of those big men end up getting stuck on him, getting put on the skates and everything.
Yeah, man. Whew, man. Like,
actually, let me ask you this: can you remember a time where Steph was just, I would say like dominant? How Magic has the dream team, and he was one of the dominant point guards on that team and everything.
Yeah.
You say the same thing with the U.S. team, where he's not just that guy. You know what I'm saying? To where he has to divert to a team full of stars and everything.
Yeah.
Steph showed out. So I can't think of a USA team that Steph is on. I just like, oh yeah, Steph showed out this Olympics.
Yeah, he lets them kind of just do their thing. He's like they always accuse him of not being like a floor general. That's why Magic Johnson is better because he's a floor general. First of all, Steph plays in an offense that requires ball movement. So he's not holding the ball and not waiting to get a petty assist. To stuff the stat sheet like other guys like Westbrook and LeBron. The ball moves, and sometimes Dre brings it up, sometimes Steph does. Steph's an all-around player. But to answer your question, yeah, he lets the other players in the Olympics just kind of play. Like, he's more of a floor general. then. Like he's more like, okay, let me see what they do. Like, because they know they don't want to get beat by Steph, so other guys are gonna have to, beat them anyway. Steph's the best player on them teams all the time. He's a nuclear weapon. He can shoot from half court, like just unlimited range, and he's great at the rim too, man. He does magic, literally magic under the rim as well. But he don't get credit because everybody just thinks he's a shooter. He's a top 5 ball handler of all time.
Crossover is definitely to be respected.
Like I would say, the best combination of shooter, ball handler, and passer is Steph in the history of basketball. Like those three, ball handling, passing, and shooting. Who else is better at like in those three? You can name one player who can do all those like combined.
Only other person that's close would be Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? You can say
because he was a good passer. He was an underrated passer. He don't get credit. They just think he's a crossover guy. And he passed the ball a lot too. But yeah, Iverson was my dude, top 2 fair player ever.
But then you gotta remember who was really passing it to. He didn't really
Eric
have that.
Snow, let it snow, let it snow.
But he didn't really have that dominating force that like a lot of these super teams build up to now, to where it's like you got a 1 and a 2. There's never just someone just out on the island now.
Yeah, he had like freaking like Chris Webber at the end of his career. Like Chris Webber was more of a good number 2 on a title team, but like when they try to compare like Westbrook and Iverson, like no, Iverson didn't have no Kevin Durant. If Iverson had Kevin Durant, he would have won 3 titles. If he would have had Paul George even, or some of the other guys he played with like Harden, if he would have had a help, he would have won championships. Westbrook didn't win a championship because of his own fault. So not to mention the Lakers started winning after they got rid of Westbrook. So they did. Those are the facts. So at the end of the day, don't compare Westbrook and Iverson. Chris Broussard from Fox Sports, but yeah, man.
Yeah, but definitely, I just try to make sure we got to a point where we could, try to figure out what is that determining factor that really separates them to where it's just like, hey, this person is greater because of these things. Both have had finals MVPs now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you got the definite showing of like, hey, Steph is that force.
Yeah.
On the court, he can put up 50 if need be. He can sit back and make sure, Kevin Durant scores and gets his stuff in, or he gets Clay the ball. So everybody gets their shine, even with Steph out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can say the same about Magic. He made sure that Kareem made. He made sure that, like Worthy and everybody ate. So it's just like, you got to figure out that determinant factor, and that's why I feel like this debate completely is like, it depends on what crowd you're in, really. People that are older than us are going to probably lean Magic Johnson, hands down, not even think twice about it.
He's a floor general. He's a pass first guy. He's a real point guard. We won't get to that in a minute.
Or they'll go to rings. And that's been like a great debate,
It's like this, okay? When people be like oh yeah, he's not really a point guard. He don't pass. He's a shoot first. No, he's actually both first because he does a lot. Like I said, in this offense, the ball moves. It's a ball movement offense, and he passes it. Sometimes he gives it back, and he gives it back to somebody else, and he ends up getting it again. That's what this offense is. It's just like when people say, oh, well, Travis Kelce's the GOAT tight end. Well, you know what? Travis Kelce doesn't block like a tight end. He's basically a big slot receiver. But people still say he's the GOAT tight end because that's what he's listed under, a tight end. Steph's listed as a point guard. So that's why he's the best point guard. Don't try to say he's 2 guard. No, he's a point guard. That's what he's listed as. Like Kelce. He don't play nothing like a tight end, but he is a tight end. If that makes any sense. So
it definitely does, but that's because of sports today has been becoming more and more position. It's like if you even look at the running back debate right now, your team, the Niners, they wanted to make Debo a goddamn running back in pain like when he's not going for that. He's like, no, I remember I'm a wide receiver now. And then it's just like, with the tight end aspect. The Raiders, we utilized Darren Waller as a number 1 receiver, wide receiver. He's getting 1,100 yards receiving. No tight ends really doing that except for him, Travis Kelce, and George Kittle, and maybe Mark Andrews. But ain't too many times where Mark Andrews is going to pass 1,000 yards receiving, especially in that run-heavy offense with the Ravens. But it's just like you get to these positionless things of like, all right, we got Luka out there. He could easily be a small forward, but he's playing the point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trae Young could definitely be like a 2 if need be.
He's the new Steph, and then like the thing is like I think since he came to the league, he's had like nobody's had more 30-point, 10 assist games than Trey Young. That means he's a pass both for like he's a pass and a shoot first point guard. He does both. You know, same thing. That's what Steph is. He's a pass first and a shoot first point guard. Everything, all around.
And if I gotta stand on it, I gotta do it with my boy Steph. I just feel like the stats he's putting up already, and again, it's a different era. You know, they weren't shooting the ball at this clip, you know, that they are now. So it's like, you know, you put Magic Johnson in right now, you never know what his stats would be.
Yep.
And then you gotta think too, because of, you know, his certain situations, you know, if he get to play, you know what I'm saying, to his best of his abilities, you know, without that, you know, that asterisk next to his name when he's playing, you know, like, oh, I passed the ball. Because, you know, a lot of people didn't really know. They didn't know how that was going to affect them.
Yeah.
Oh, if I pass the ball, it might get it on me. I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't even want to play the game. It might sit out. And it's just like, damn, like, he didn't have to worry about just playing the game like Steph did.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot. It's a definitely a lot of different variations to really, you know, touch upon. So, but again, my vote in for Steph. What you feeling like?
Yeah, man. Stephenson, man. Stephen Curry, the chef, best point guard of all time. Actually made it official to me when he won the last title against the Celtics. Like, I think he became he's the only player of all time to like win more than one title with like, you know, like both times he didn't even have a 20-point scoring teammate. 2015 and 2022. You know, he did it twice. Both times he didn't have Durant. Yeah, that's what happened. So he won 2 with Durant, 2 without Durant. Like Joe Montana won 2 with Jerry Rice, 2 without Jerry Rice. And they both got 4. So it's like the same scenario with this. You know, so he didn't need Durant. I thought I want Durant on the Warriors. Heck yeah, dynamic player. But he proved he can win it with him. I mean, with them and without him. So Joe, just like Andrew Wiggins, he was doubted. Like he was a bust. You know, LeBron James couldn't win with him. LeBron James traded Andrew Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? Steph won with Andrew Wiggins. There's a difference there. So, and I understand Andrew Wiggins was a rookie, but what does everybody say? LeBron James, he makes this guy better. He makes anybody better. He took the worst team this. He took the worst team that. So he should be able to take Andrew Wiggins then to a finals. He should be able to win with Andrew Wiggins, but he couldn't. Steph did that. Big facts.
Makes it,
Big facts.
Players better because I'm still waiting to see what Jordan Poole's gonna look like without being on the Steph, you know, led team.
Yeah.
Where he's the number one guy every night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's another guy who's kind of like positionless because, you know, Steph comes off the floor, who's playing the point. You know what I'm saying? But he could easily be a shooting guard too, though. Like he plays when he is on the floor with Steph. So it's just like, you know, this is definitely positionless basketball. So it's just like, I always look at it, you just gotta say, hey, this player is the GOAT, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just one of the greatest of all time. Because, like, you built that Mount Rushmore, you would be, you know, laughed out the building if you tried to say, I'm not putting Steph Curry on the Mount Rushmore of point guards.
Yeah, Steph, man, he's just a game changer. That unlimited range, all-around game. Dynasty, 6 finals appearances. Sheesh, man, like, who'd ever thunk it? But, you know, he turned around a great franchise, you know. He got drafted to a bad team, and he said, we're going to turn this thing around. Like, it's the last thing we do. So, hey, he did that. He did that, though. You got to salute him for that. You know, he didn't have to run and go to another team, go team up with a superstar on someone else's team. No. He stayed right there. Golden State, Oakland, Oracle Arena, you know, so, and I praise him for that.
Because you also got to look at it too, like, they say Chris Paul is that same floor general that you're talking about, and it's like, no one's starting Chris Paul over Steph Curry.
Never. Chris Paul is a playoff choker.
Even when he was in his prime still, not just back in which he is now, it was just like, he's going head to head with Steph every time.
Yeah.
And he's not doing it no more. Like the very beginning of Steph's career, he had that time where they kept passing him and sending him home. But once he got to the 2014 season, you know, it really started showing him like, nah, that ain't happening no more. Like you're going home, we're gonna be the ones that send you. That's with the Rockets, with the Clippers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's just sending. He's professional at sending Chris Paul home. Suns. Rockets. Doesn't matter what team he's on. He's sending them home early. Let's get him out of here.
Chris Paul. Yup. Saying 2014 no more, but yeah, Chris Paul's on the roster now, backup point guard. Gonna lead the second unit. Gonna lead us to the top. But if he can at least do it like Sean Livingston did, like just make those smart mid-range shots, because Sean Livingston, one of the best mid-range shooters. I think he's a top 5 mid-range shooter of all time. Like Klay Thompson once said, he said the 3 most unstoppable moves ever: Kareem's skyhook, Jordan's fadeaway, and Sean Livingston's mid-range. Yeah, so that mid-range is almost unstoppable. Like, we used to make it all the time. And Chris Paul's a damn good mid-range shooter. He's the same way. He's just 6 foot, and they both gonna lead the second unit. So, like Livingston did. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah, that facilitating with the second team is going to be
Kaminga Moody?
drastic difference, because when they had Jordan Poole out with the second team, Jordan trying to get a shot. Chris is going to try to get the best shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the best shot at this moment? So, that's just a quick branch off of the GOAT debate, man. How you feeling about just the Warriors, in general going into this season? You feeling like they're going to be them guys?
Yeah, like, I think they'll be right there with the Nuggets, man. The 2 best teams in the West. There's other good teams, Lakers going to be right there. The Clippers, they probably should be cool. Phoenix Suns, of course. OKC's on the rise.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas, they're going to be creeping up somewhere, They're going to have to outscore you. Hopefully Dallas, JaVale McGee gets released so the Warriors can get him. That's a backup center.
I take JaVale or Dwight right now.
I'll take those big guys, man.
Dwight over there dropping 100 points.
They both won the Lakers the bubble title.
Yeah.
JaVale and Dwight Howard, man. Hey, need those big sizes, man. But I think the Warriors are going to be good this year, man. I think we got a title contending team. What you think?
I think we definitely do, but I feel like we're still missing that real, big that can really come in and just, do us some real justice for real.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like that big ain't gonna really be able to do it for us that we do have on roster right now. So once we get, that's figured out and facilitated into this is gonna be our roster, and this is who's gonna play that big coming off the bench for when Kevon sit down. It's just like we definitely have it a lot better mapped out. Because I don't want to get to the playoffs and then it's just like, oh, we're the little guys again. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's when we was getting the most problems, like even playing the Lakers. It's just like we're looking like little guys out there once Kevon come off the floor.
Yeah, the sloppy turnovers on offense, and man, it's like, and then Draymond, he's like supposedly a small ball five, but he don't really go all out versus the LeBrons and Anthony Davis like how he does other players. But so we were stuck. We're like, damn, man, we need a center. Like, got a lot of guards, got some wings, talented, we even got good small ball fives, for real. Kuminga can play occasionally. Dario Saric can play occasionally. Looney is, Dre. But yeah, man, we're gonna be all good.
Fingers crossed, sir.
Let's go.
Fingers crossed. Let's just do it.
So yeah, also some news. Trey Lance, man, like Sam Darnold was named number 2 quarterback, so the Niners are gonna be interested in trading Trey Lance. I guess he just wasn't that guy, man. Like, he can't even get the backup role. You're supposed to be a starter by now, but he can't even get the backup role. Sheesh, man.
Injuries to do it every time.
Yeah, and then he played against small schools and stuff, he came from a small school, and he just probably couldn't adjust, because he's have enough time to learn the playbook, get used to the receivers. With all this talent around, you're not gonna get another better offensive unit to throw to to play ball with McCaffrey and Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, Debo, Kittle. We got the good youngster tight ends now. We got all this talent. Are you serious?
And some boys over there.
So Trey Lance, that's why that draft. I want the Niners to draft tight end Kyle Pitts. Atlanta ended up getting Kyle Pitts. Freaking nature of tight end. When he's healthy, very talented. Him and Kittle could have been the best tight end talent of all time. They should have listened to me, but they didn't. So
that could have been the new Aaron Gonzalez and Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah. Heck yeah, it's been just like that. But yeah, man, Trey Lance, they freaking short. Number 3, he can't be the number 3. I mean, I would love to keep him there, number 3. Just that's a lot of depth having him as number 3. But
you see how it came down for y'all last season. Y'all
yeah,
needed number 3.
So how about if we don't need a number 3 again? It's like, oh, we should have kept Lance.
It's just like, who would y'all even have as a number 3 if y'all do get rid of Lance?
Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
You know, people like him from his Bengals days, but you know he's cool. But man, Lance, I wanted to work out, man, because I wanted, like I said, I wanted Kyle Pitts, but they didn't draft him. Lance didn't make us dance. You know, like you said, and Trey area might not be in the Bay Area now.
So where could you see him going now? Because it's just like it's so already. Pretty much most teams are solidified right now as far as quarterback and what they're doing going forward. There's not going to be too many teams out there that are just like, hey, we don't know what we're doing at quarterback. Because like even the weaker teams, you know, the ones that picked at the top of the draft this previous season, they got their quarterback of the future. That's CJ, that's Anthony Richardson with the Colts, and then even with the Panthers with Bryce Young, it's like you know where you're going to go. And then even the Titans, they got 2 backup quarterbacks that are, you know, vying for, you know, some serious roles and could be a star somewhere else. Only places I could really see him being able to go and have any real kind of impact is maybe the Buccaneers, maybe the Commanders. I don't really see too many places where he'd be able to really get no action at, you know, potentially, you know, starting at some point or in the future. Maybe the Vikings, if they don't want to, you know, keep cutting Kirk Cousins one of the most richest deals every season. So, you got any teams in mind you can think of?
Trade him to your Raiders for Max Crosby. Woo!
Yeah, I don't know what this guy's on right now, but that'll never happen.
You like that, huh? Yeah, he could battle out with Garoppolo again. Cause another quarterback controversy.
Hey, so originally, before we actually went to the draft, I was one of the proponents sitting there like, man, why wouldn't we try to, you know, send like a 3rd or a 4th for Trey Lance? That would only make sense. Like, he's right there. We know he's not about to get, you know, the start over Brock Purdy. It doesn't even make sense. And I've just been a Raiders fan saying that. So it's just like, I'm like, it wouldn't even make sense for you guys to not start Brock once he, you know, comes back unless his elbow is just done. You know what I'm saying? So I would have definitely took Trey Lance then, but it's just like I was telling you before, we got Aiden O'Connell, he's balling out. Like he's actually showed up all the rookies that have played this offseason.
Wow.
So it's just like I can't take nothing away from him. As much as I wanted to, when you just if I just put up a picture of Aiden O'Connell, you're gonna look at him like, who's this guy? He looks like Farver from Super Troopers. You know what I'm saying? He looks like the guy that, you know, is supposed to, you know, be getting wasted off beers at your local bar. Yeah. But he came in slinging. So I was just like, I got to make sure I put some respect on his name. Aiden O'Connell, boy, he is out there doing it.
Okay.
And they even saying that, you know, he might not even be just a backup. He could possibly start over Jimmy Garoppolo, which I'd lose my mind if that happened.
Woo!
Yeah, but as far as
a backup, that might cause some friction.
Most definitely. But he's done it before.
Yep.
Several
it
occasions.
caused some friction.
But I would say another team he would be a good backup on would be probably maybe the Seahawks or potentially even the Rams if they don't know what they're going to do with I'm having a brain for right now. But pretty much their quarterback situation with the Los Angeles Rams or even the Broncos. Backup Russell Wilson.
Oh man. Yeah,
That's more his speed.
Hey, I think Trey Lance and the Sharpe offense, I don't know what that would be like.
Because he'll have, you know, I'm not saying that you guys don't have a good coach, but you know, someone that's going to be able to show what type of time it is. You see what he did with Taysom Hill.
Yeah, because like let us say Russell Wilson doesn't play up to par or he plays just good. You might look like, we got Trey Lance waiting to win. Maybe it's his time, and Sharpe gets the best out of him. He turns him into Drew Brees, like with a little more athleticism. But yeah, you never know, man. Like I don't know where to trade him, but Tampa don't got a quarterback. And with Baker Mayfield, like they need a quarterback. So whoever's out there, man, you don't want a quarterback, you got Lance now.
Available.
Give us your best pass rusher, best right tackle, best right tackle. Let's trade for a right tackle. That's what we should do. Trade for a good vet right tackle. That's kind of our biggest weakness.
I feel like McGlinchey is the big weakness like that.
Well, he plays for the Broncos now.
Oh, he did. He did leave.
He'll be blocking Max Crosby this year.
That's what you want to call that.
So he better bend his knees. He better get ready for bull rushes. Crosby watching that film. They better be chipping him all day.
Definitely a chip, extra tight end.
Dorito chip too,
Double team. Cause they better pray to God that Tyree Wilson doesn't get acclimated real fast. Cause I feel like he's gonna be a boy. But Chandler Jones is still out there too. But as far as the whole Trey Lance situation, what do you feel like is realistic compensation that you guys will get? Cause I feel like
second round pick.
I feel like day two in the draft, second or third.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I think second round because there's gonna be somebody that's like probably blown away by his talent, and I think they can, fix him and turn him into a superstar. So they'll give up a second round. There's gonna be someone. The Niners should not settle for nothing, third or more. Second, give us a second because they're trading for him. So whoever's trading for him, they actually think he's very talented. So you want him? Give us something valuable.
And he's still on a rookie deal. When do you guys have to resign? What year is he in right now? Is this 3 or 2?
This is his third year.
His third year, so not extending. But you still got the fifth year option?
Yeah, I think I don't think they're gonna pick it up. But what they need to do is trade for a good vet right tackle. If anything, if you are gonna trade him, because we gotta solidify that spot.
So would you take a decent right tackle and like a 6?
Yep, we could probably turn that 6 into probably the next Brock Purdy, part 3, part 2, part 3. Nah, we probably turn like another like a receiver, probably like a return man / gadget player or something. You never know, but anyway,
or
man.
a safety or a linebacker. That's pretty good at that too. Yeah. I think maybe if the Cardinals get away from Kyler.
Yeah, they could. Kyler.
They could shake Kyler. But they'll probably be, trying to get those two quarterbacks in the draft next season.
Oh yeah. See, speaking of that, I don't want the Rams or Cardinals to have too much of a bad record. I don't want that guy. I don't want that quarterback coming to our division. No, I don't care how great of a defense we got. I don't want to face none of that. I'm not facing no Mahomes part 2, Josh Allen part 2, Joe Burrow. I don't want none of them because the Seahawks, yeah, they got a good roster, but Geno Smith's not that dude on that level. Rams, Stafford, third tier quarterback. Kyler Murray, underachiever. I like it like that. Keep it not good.
No real competition.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, if we ever going to win a Super Bowl, we gotta face like some elite level players, quarterbacks in the Super Bowl and conference title games anyway. But I'd rather not face one twice a season. That's all.
Sure, if you look at the times where you guys have been to the Super Bowl recently, you guys' whole division was literally in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was like either you got the Seahawks bumping down you guys' line or you got the Rams bumping down y'all line, and then y'all get there. There's never been a time where y'all just cruise through without having to see somebody in y'all division.
Yeah.
Because it's like early on, even when y'all had Cap and Alex Smith, y'all was having to face Seattle, Legion of Boom. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, y'all got past that, then the Rams popped up out of nowhere. Even with Jared Goff.
Cal Berkeley.
So it was just like, damn, I don't know what to expect coming out of y'all division. But I couldn't see y'all trading into y'all division anyway, huh?
Nah, it wasn't gonna happen. Those never happen for a reason. They don't want to help out their rival. None of that.
Do you see you guys as potentially releasing him if you don't get the compensation you want?
They better get something for him. They better just be smart about it. Releasing them and then anybody can get them just freely like that. Somebody's gonna pick him up so quick.
You got rid of Baker. Baker was the number 1.
Yeah,
He on his way.
I mean, I can't remember. This is like against Kyle Shannon. Like we drafted him. Should have listened to me.
And gave up the 2 number 1s.
Damn.
Yeah, that's where it was just getting real hectic, giving up them 2 first-round picks, and and then having nothing to show for it as far as like being able to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
It's like right now, I can't think of anywhere else he could really go for real. Like, so that's top of my head.
Tampa, Carolina. That's probably all I really know.
No, he can't go to Carolina with Bryce Young.
Oh, I'm tripping Carolina. I'm thinking Atlanta. Say.
They going
I think Tampa's for sure going to be the team that's out there that no quarterback. Maybe the AFC South might go there. I don't know, man, because
didn't Stetson Bennett from Georgia, didn't he go to the Saints?
Stetson Bennett.
Or
what position is he?
Quarterback. Or did he go to the Rams?
I don't know.
No, he's somewhere. He's either on the Rams or the Saints. Because I know the Saints got a decent backup quarterback behind Derek Carr. So it's not really nowhere to go really right at this moment. So
Derek Generic Carr?
Yeah, pause. So I'm not about to do DC like that. It's too soon.
Oh, you're a Derek Carr fan?
Hey, man, DC 4, man. Hey, that was janky how they got him out the door, man.
Okay. Well, shoot, man. Freaking, another topic we want to hit on, too. That Steve, got Michael Irvin and Keyshawn on, Undisputed. Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe.
I'd rather see Shannon on that first take and see how that goes. I feel like he's going to get some respect he wasn't getting from Skip. Like, not to knock that he didn't get, like, help from Skip, but even getting into this media stuff for real like that. But it'd be like a breath of fresh air for him. I would like to see. Because I've been watching, like, Club Shay Shay and everything. And it's just like, seeing him on there be able to be himself. I didn't feel like he was that same guy with Undisputed and being around, FS1 and everything. Yeah. It was just more along like he was like just playing a character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was being Uncle Shay Shay on FS1. He wasn't really being Shannon Sharpe, the GOAT Hall of Fame, tight end that he really is.
Shannon Sharpe? Yeah, he's going to be right there with Stephen A. Smith. They both were kind of like LeBron James lovers, I guess. Well, Stephen A's more like a second tier. I think it's going to work. They both dislike the Cowboys so much, so that's going to be a good show. Like when the Cowboys lose, they're going to be going off. They're going to be going at it. They're going to be real celebrating up there. So that's what I do agree on with them. But I think it's going to be a cool little tandem. I don't know if their voices match, like Shannon's country voice. Stephen A's kind of like, yeah, that's a 9, that's a 10. Look at my resume. All the stuff he was bragging about. Look at my resume. The Cowboys. Dak Prescott.
I feel like it's going to be a determining factor once they actually talking about something besides football. You get to really see what Shannon brings to the table and everything. Because once Shannon brings what he has to the table, because he's had to build up a repertoire of understanding different sports and stuff over the past 6-7 years. So it's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Than just him badgering on about football like some of the other reporters or media opponents that do come on First Take. So I'm just more along the lines to see who Skip is gonna solidify on, because it's like it's definitely rumored that Richard Sherman will be there, but I haven't seen Richard Sherman actually show up to FS1 yet, or Lil Wayne, and I just wouldn't really even understand what Lil Wayne's doing here. Like, of course, he'll be there like on Fridays and sorts, or every other Friday. It's just like, really?
Lil Weezy
on sports. Like, not to say that he doesn't know sports or anything.
It's kind of weird to have like him on there. Like, we know him as a rapper.
Yeah, because he's not a real analyst, I should say.
He's not.
I'm not saying he can't be analytical, but it's just, when I look at analysts, someone that's coming in every day, no matter what sport it is, and just grinding it out against, the others, other analysts, with their point of views and everything. But definitely could prove me wrong.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. So supposedly, they was mad at Fox Sports was mad at Skip for the trying to copy the ESPN's like rotation of analysts and all that. But I like Michael Irvin as far as like an analyst, who's a big rival with the Niners. But I still rock with him like as an analyst, keeps it real.
Yeah, I feel like ESPN fumbled Michael Irvin not being there, because Just during like playoffs and football game weekends, him not being there leading up to it, you lose a lot of ratings and everything because we all look to Michael Irvin like, man, what Michael Irvin got to say? Of course he's a Cowboy, but sometimes he did keep it lit though. Like, hey, he ain't XYZ ain't showed me that he should be that Cowboy that's coming through XYZ. So that's why I was just like, okay, Michael Irvin gonna call it how it really is, even though he do have that little bit of fandom and loyalty.
Yeah, to the Cowboys, like he always be thinking they gonna win the Super Bowl, But he always looks, he always, just like he don't really diss the Niners or none of that. Like when Debo's on his run 2021, he was like Debo, oh. That was Michael Irvin who started that. So shout out to him, man. Because if a former Niner player did that for a Cowboy player, talking about Zeke or anybody.
Yeah,
anybody in history, Dez Bryant.
Y'all to burn the whole stadium.
Yeah, man. Like, see, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. No Niner player is allowed to do that to a Cowboys player.
Could you imagine Jerry Rice saying that?
Oh man, no Rice. Rice, my tattoo right there. Rice, you can't do it.
Or even Terrell Owens.
T.O. Oh no, you can't do that. Well, he played for the Cowboys, so it's a little different. But
you know where his loyalty should lie at more.
Yeah, to the Niners. Played 8 seasons with the Niners.
Because if you're gonna say he should have some loyalty to the Cowboys, he was an Eagle.
I know.
So that's like a slap in the face right there. Like you
went to the rival.
That's like him going to the Seahawks. Y'all would have been out there with pitchforks on fire every time he came in.
Yeah.
Every time he came into the Bay, y'all would have been out there with pitchforks, burning jerseys and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. I would lose it if that was to happen, man. I straight up lose it, but heck yeah, man. At the end of the day, I think Fox Sports gonna be cool with that lineup. I want to see Mike Irvin the base skip. There would be a lot of cowboyness there. And then it's a trip because ESPN, if it's Stephen A. and Shannon Sharpe, it's going to be a lot of cowboy dislike, So, that's going to be like a little different. But at the end of the day, they both, it's like they're switching places too because Irvin was at ESPN, Shannon Sharpe was at Fox Sports. So they switched.
Hall of Fame.
They switch hoods, man. They used to bang that hood, now they bang another hood,
But how do you feel about Richard Sherman potentially being there after they had that whole debacle with him and Skip when he was on First Take? Quite mediocre and
like you're not the best 22 anything.
In my 24 years of life,
I'm better than you at life. I'm better than you, Skip.
Dude, I had to watch that clip over so many times. I didn't believe he really did Skip like that. I was like, the last time I seen Skip really go through something like that was probably with Jalen Rose.
Yeah.
When he was calling him out about his basketball career. Saying he wasn't really in the game. I was just like, yeah. But to see Sherman out there with him, Rich and Skip, I definitely tune into that just to see how it's going to take place when they really do get to that point where they're having a serious debate and Skip trying to dig in on his standpoint.
Yeah.
With Skip and Shannon, you seen how it happened when they start really digging in and Skip went too far to disrespect Shannon like that. That's just in my opinion. I felt like he disrespected him, but it was just like you didn't have to go that far. So it's just like I don't feel like Richard Sherman's gonna let him go that far without really exposing him or making him feel some type of way.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Like I think Skip knows that. Can't just be going. You're not gonna go at Sherman. Because Sherman will bite back, and it ain't gonna happen. So, plus it's gonna be like rotation basis, so it'll be a little different. Just give it a new, fresh look. I think it's gonna work out. Like I said, I'm a fan. I became a fan of Sherman. As soon as he became a Niner, then after he retired and stuff, I like his shows and stuff. I like his streams a lot. So very knowledgeable.
Because he went to also, right? At
Stanford.
Yeah, so he's been in the Bay.
Yep, Harbaugh coached him. Harbaugh should have drafted him, but they have beef. See? You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about that. And Doug Baldwin. Yeah, people with Doug Baldwin, too. And guess what? Doug Baldwin and Richard Sherman end up coming to our division. See? Instead of them being on my team, now we got to face these guys twice a year. They were headaches.
Cold game. Let's get into the bowl.
Yeah. Battling out, man. Similar teams, man. Niners and Seahawks.
You
But
guys
the
have
early
always had
2010s.
the best defenses.
Best defenses, Frank Gore and Marshawn, some of the receivers.
Shoot, this offseason I was hoping to God that we pulled the trigger and try to get Wagner. I was like, please.
Wagner, ooh, man.
That would have solidified our defense.
He's a hell of a player. Yeah, because he's one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest. Much I don't like him. Hell of a player, but yeah, man, so that was the topics right there, man. It was a hell of a show. Go point guard talk, Niners trade Lance, Fox Sports and ESPN, their shows, First Take and Undisputed. Yeah, man, had a great show, brah.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, sir.
Talking that mess with you,
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah, everybody like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, Go Warriors, go Niners.
And go Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said that.
Yeah, just make sure.
Nah.